Lenny Ann, your teacher for today. Welcome to this episode of fun and exciting learning in mathematics. But before that, we'll have first a simple activity. So our activity is entitled, What's the Passcode? The box containing unlimited foods is secured with a lock. Key in the passcode by finding the missing values mentally. So you have to key in your answer for every letter. Timer starts now. Time's up! So the answer is 5208. Well done, everyone! Let's now move on to our main topic, which is all about properties of the operations on integers. Let's learn about closure property, commutative property, associative property, distributive property, identity property, and inverse property. The first property is closure property. Two integers that are added and multiplied remain as integers. The set of integers is closed under addition and multiplication. The closure property of addition states that the sum of two integers is also an integer. For example, 10 plus 14 is equal to 24. 10, 14, and 24 are all integers, specifically positive integers. The closure property of multiplication states that the product of two integers is also an integer. For example, negative 10 times 2 is equal to negative 20. Negative 10, 2, and negative 20 are all integers. Negative 10 and negative 20 are specifically negative integers. The next property is commutative property. Changing the order of two numbers that are either being added or multiplied does not change the value. That is, a plus b is equal to b plus a, and a times b is equal to b times a. For example, 2 plus 4 is equal to 4 plus 2. Since 2 plus 4 is equal to 6, and 4 plus 2 is also equal to 6, then they are both equal. Another example is, negative 5 times 2 is equal to 2 times negative 5. Since negative 5 times 2 is equal to negative 10, and 2 times negative 5 is also equal to negative 10, then they are both equal. Take note, subtraction and division are not commutative. The next property is associative property. Changing the grouping of numbers that are either being added or multiplied does not change its value. That is, the quantity of a plus b plus c is equal to a plus the quantity of b plus c, and the quantity of a times b times c is equal to a times the quantity of b times c. The expression inside the parentheses should be solved first. For example, the quantity of 4 plus 5 plus 6 is equal to 4 plus the quantity of 5 plus 6. Let us see if both the expressions are equal. So to check, the quantity of 4 plus 5 is equal to 9 plus 6 is equal to 4 plus the quantity of 5 plus 6, which is 11. Since 9 plus 6 is equal to 15, and 4 plus 11 is also equal to 15, then both expressions are equal. The next example is the quantity of 3 times 10 times 2 is equal to 3 times the quantity of 10 times 2. Let us see if both the expressions are equal. So to check, the quantity of 3 times 10 is equal to 30 times 2 is equal to 3 times the quantity of 10 times 2, which is 20. Since 30 times 2 is equal to 60, and 3 times 20 is also equal to 60, then both expressions are equal. Take note, subtraction and division are also not associative. The next property is distributive property. When two numbers have been added or subtracted and then multiplied by a factor, the result will be the same when each number is multiplied by the factor and the products are then added or subtracted. That is, a times the quantity of b plus c is equal to the quantity of a times b plus the quantity of a times c. And a times the quantity of b minus c is equal to the quantity of a times b minus the quantity of a times c. For example, 1 times the quantity of 2 plus 4 is equal to 1 times 2 plus 1 times 4. You just have to distribute 1 to each term in the expression. So 1 times the quantity of 2 plus 4 is equal to 6 is equal to 1 times 2, which is 2, plus 1 times 4, which is 4. Since 1 times 6 is equal to 6, and 2 plus 4 is also equal to 6, then both expressions are equal. Next example is 5 times the quantity of 6 minus 3 is equal to 5 times 6 minus 5 times 3. So again, just have to distribute 5 to each term in the expression. So 5 times the quantity of 6 minus 3 is 3 is equal to 5 times 6, which is 30, minus 5 times 3, which is 15. So 5 times 3 is equal to 15, and 30 minus 15 is also equal to 15. Then both expressions are equal. The next property is identity property. Additive identity property states that the sum of any number and 0 is the given number. That is, a plus 0 is equal to a. 0 is the additive identity. For example, number 1, 100 plus 0 is equal to 100. Number 2, 2 plus 0 is equal to 2. And number 3, negative 24 plus 0 is equal to negative 24. Again, 0 is our additive identity. Next is the multiplicative identity property. States that the product of any number and 1 is the given number. That is, a times 1 is equal to a. 1 is the multiplicative identity. The examples are, number 1, 9 times 1 is equal to 9. Number 2, negative 11 times 1 is equal to negative 11. Number 3, 48 times 1 is equal to 48. Again, 1 is our multiplicative identity. Our last property is the inverse property. Additive inverse property states that the sum of any number and its additive inverse is 0. The additive inverse of a number is the opposite sign of that number. That is, a plus negative a is equal to 0, and negative a plus a is equal to 0. The examples are, number 1, 4 plus its additive inverse, which is negative 4, is equal to 0. And number 2, negative 82 plus its additive inverse, which is positive 82, is equal to 0. Next is the multiplicative inverse property. States that the product of any non-zero number and its multiplicative inverse or reciprocal is 1. The multiplicative inverse of a number is its reciprocal. That is, a times 1 over a is equal to 1. The examples are, number 1, 8 times its reciprocal, which is 1 over 8, is equal to 1. And number 2, negative 11 times its reciprocal, which is negative 1 all over 11, is equal to 1. Take note, 0 does not have a multiplicative inverse since 1 over 0 is undefined. That's it, learners. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot during the discussion for today. Happy calculating! Bye!